The following Conscious Consumer Network recording of a live broadcast is available to purchase in high definition at ethymarket.com. Support free and independent media by becoming a CCN pledger. For €10 a month, you can have unlimited access to CCN high definition downloads at ethymarket.com. Ethymarket, the ethical marketplace for conscious consumers.
Folks, welcome back for another fine hour with CCN, actually 2 hours. This is not your mommy's TV station, it's your daddy's. I always preface this because the truth is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. So if you're not into the truth, then this is the wrong place for you. But if you want the truth, and we like to stay informed and talk about the truth. Anyways, Brother Brad, I got Brother Brad back by popular demand. He's sharing the love with me today on the planet. A lot of interesting things happening across our planet, isn't it?
Peter, you started in exactly the right spot. You started with the red pill or the blue pill, okay? Yeah. And truth really is a hard pill to swallow. And the thing is isn't the movie The Matrix just the exact appropriate metaphor for what we're going through? Because people are really being given a choice. They can take the red pill and they can wake up and find out how deep the rabbit hole goes. And then, and then the other thing Morpheus said is he said, but I'm not promising you anything more than the truth. Or he said, you can take the blue pill and you can go back to sleep. You wake up in your bed tomorrow. You can believe whatever you want. And it's really hard for people right now, as we're speaking, who are trying to wake up, because there's a lot more going on than they ever thought possible. There's a lot more things to think about and truth to go down, rabbit holes to go down than they ever thought possible. And I guess maybe their point of view, their idea of what the truth was, and what it's turning out to be is kind of scary for them. It really is. It's troubling, and people are kind of wishing maybe I should have taken the blue pill,
Well, let's cover that a little bit. Because I've been peeling this nasty onion back pretty much my entire life. And it will put you in a little psychogenic shock. It will rattle your brain because nobody likes to think they've been duped. Nobody likes to think they've been used or being used. Even though I know most of the things that people do, they give over consent, on purpose. We have lots of people consenting to a construct that keeps them in line because they don't have the ability, or they choose not to have the ability to be responsible for oneself. And so it's a painful process. Peeling back this curtain. I mean, I've uncovered a lot of garbage over these last 55 years from the military-industrial complex. Who would have thought that they're using our boys as a human resource, and they got a $10 million policy on them, and they trick us to go in to fight these they want us to come in this construct and go fight their battles for them in countries that haven't done anything to us. And that's the sad part. It's literally it's savage, it's insane, and it's all about the damn money. The monopolistic control freaks from hell have literally and they've used a lot of tricks to bait us, to get us in this thing, who would have thought the voter rolls reduces you to merely benefits and privileges, and I've covered that. And it's hard for people, and a lot of people are in the paradigm that they actually think their vote counts. One of my relatives used to say, well, if you don't vote, you don't count. Well, he don't get it either. If you vote, you don't count. That's the point, and he doesn't get it. He thinks for all these people who think their vote has a say, it's just like all these people going out and signing shit. Everybody keeps one sign. They want to give over their power, their consent. And we're not going to talk about what we're going to talk about, but you know exactly where I'm coming from. You know,
Right.
People will trade one set of, one construct for another.
Right.
Not real. They're just sliding themselves back into the same insane train.
Well, Peter, here, let's back up for a second, okay? And let's talk about the construct. And let's deconstruct it just a little bit. As the way the powers that be and the Illuminati see it. They see themselves as fully within their scope and their right to treat us like children. Okay, they see it as their job to be mommy and daddy. Okay, human beings that aren't awake, they haven't taken the red pill. Okay, they're sleeping. Let's look at what they do. They go to church every seventh day. Okay, they sit there, and the question in their mind is, what do I need to do? Please tell me. What do I need to do? How do I need to think in order to be a good person? They go to school. Okay, and then they're educated by the system, and the system tells them what they need to do and what they need to think in order to be a good person. And then they go do their job, and their bosses tell them, and especially if they're working for the corporate world, their bosses tell them what they need to do and what they need to think in order to be a good person. So people are being told what to do, what to think, how to act, how to behave. And this is going on pretty constantly. Now, you get a few of the way showers, the trailblazers who are woken up, and they're coming out and they're basically saying, hey, wait a minute, you can think for yourself. You can make your own choices here. You do have a choice. You don't have to do what you've been doing for all of your life. But that brings in a tremendous amount of fear. Okay? People, when faced with the choice or the ability to make their own choices because they've never done it before, it's almost like they're frozen. They're frozen solid in place. They go, well, okay, I've got the ability to make a choice here. What choice do I make? Please, someone tell me. What am I supposed to think? What choice am I supposed to make? So these Illuminati people have worked very hard creating a system and a paradigm that immobilizes people. It immobilizes them not just in their body, but it immobilizes their mind. It immobilizes their emotions and their ability to, because this is all they've ever known. So we're getting to the point where you say, well, let's expose one of these constructs. Let's expose the court construct. Let's expose, how you're being taken for a ride. Okay, so people get that. Well, I'm being taken for a ride. It terrifies them. They're in fear now. So the first thing they want to do is find someone else really fast who portends, or let's say pretends to have a better way to do it. And then they're going to immediately latch onto that person. Okay, now you tell me what to do. It's not take responsibility for yourself. It's not stand up on your own 2 feet and live free and live happily 100% of the time, like you say, living on purpose. It's this, okay, if this isn't the truth and these people are bad, okay, you over there, you tell me what to do. You're better. Okay? And that's the kind of a dilemma that these people are in, is they're terrified of freedom.
Yep. Well, then they become totally responsible for their own business. But see, and that's why when everybody gives over into this construct, though, and they let somebody mind their business for them, that means you're not age of accountability, age of majority. You haven't grown up yet. And, that's what we talk about. Jonah, Curtis, myself, going back home again, because, what? I don't need a damn daddy. Who's your daddy?
No.
But a lot of people in this construct have, like you say, through the programming. I don't know if you've ever seen, do you know who Charlene Isobert is?
No, never heard of
She
it.
wrote a really nice book. She was one of the head people for in the school systems that trained up in the curriculum. She wrote a book called The Dumbing Down of America.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible read. I read it many years ago. And she starts at the beginning, like in the early 1900s, how they put the system in place, and then they have your parents' patray and all this. But she actually, she did a very, very good job. But she was actually in the upper echelon of the matrix. But she knew what was going on, and she blew the whistle. So she's, I guess, for lack of a better term, a whistleblower. So,
right.
Folks, if you have never seen that book, it's called The Dumbing Down of America. And she's also got many videos she's done. She's been cracking this code for a long time. But it's a hard pill, like you say, it's a hard pill for people to swallow. To look at this spectrum and how they trick us into giving over on every aspect of our lives.
Okay, now check this out, Peter. Even people who are awake are having this problem. Now, let me give you an example. I just watched a video a couple of nights ago. Have you ever heard of a man named Jordan Maxwell?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Everybody's heard of him. He's got tons of videos on YouTube. He's the original symbologist. Well, he was being interviewed by Richie Allen, who is associated with David Icke, and he's got his own radio program. And a couple of days ago, the topic of conversation was what happened to Jordan Maxwell. Well, he's an older guy now. And he's written tons of books, and he did a lot of videos, and he's got a lot of information out, and he wanted to move online, and he wanted to sell his stuff online. He needed a webmaster. So he hired a young kid. Okay. The young kid says, well, in order to be your webmaster, you got to give me all the passwords to your bank account, and you got to give me the passwords to your web, and so I can get in there and do this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, apparently, this is what Jordan said, went in, took all of his stuff behind Jordan's back. He copyrighted it to himself.
Wow.
He took all of his videos. He took all of his books, which had apparently never been copyrighted, under his name, all of his merchandise. Now, this, like I said, this is what Jordan Maxwell said in this video. And he said, I have spent the last couple of years trying to get my life back because this kid literally went in, and because I gave him permission, my consent to help me out, he literally took over my web page, and he took over my email. He took over everything. So this was a very interesting story, and Richie Allen's going, I'm sorry that all happened to you. And he said, have you been able to find any help in the courts or anything like that? And he said, well, I've spent my entire life talking about the courts and how you shouldn't trust them and everything like that. So he said, no, they're not going to help me. But that's a point I'm going to try and make, is this guy, as smart as he was, he wanted to trust someone to help him, and he didn't vet him properly. And he got taken advantage of. And this is according to his own words. So it's hard. It's hard when we have to figure, well, we got to stand up on our own 2 feet. And if we're going to do something, we're going to have to do it for ourselves, because we need to know who we're dealing with. And not everybody out there is playing in the same sandbox we are. They're not playing in the sandbox of freedom and loyalty and love and helping other people. They're still out to earn a buck, and live within, they like the system, the way it is. So interesting.
Go ahead. Keep rolling. I just got to get my earphones so I can communicate a little bit better. Just keep talking. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right. Well, Biggie, do you have anything to say?
Here we go. Yeah, that's much better with these earphones. Sorry about that. All right. There we go. All right. Biggie's, I got him chuckling a little bit. All right. Yeah, take a look at this. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to yes, the giving over of consent. Okay. Let me give you a little overview. Back a few years ago, there was this organization called the Divine Province. You ever hear of them?
No.
All right. Well, and I knew in the back of my mind, okay, they talked about the estate and the trust, and that's how this whole thing got set up with the birthright and all that. But we all gave over to another construct when we went in there. You know, this is what I've been telling people for years. And I knew all I had to do was sit back and watch for about 6 months. And I said, you know what? I don't consent. I'm not giving over my power to another construct. And they were getting people's birth certificates and whatever, and they already thought they were going to get free. Well, nobody got free. And I knew it in the back of my mind. Nobody can carry your water for you to get you over the bridge. You have to carry your own buckets, and everybody has to go on their own accord. Nobody's going to be able to do it for you. You've got some other organizations out there. I don't want to give them any kudos, but I'm not trying to get negative. But there's another organization out in California, and people are giving over their power to that construct as well. And anyways, this organization and the guy running it, guess what? He's a bottom-feeding lawyer. He's a bottom-feeding lawyer, and he's caused a lot of people duress. But people have given over their power and their consent, but nobody's going home. And what he's got them doing is actually giving over all their stuff in the estate over to this party. I'm not going to name the group. I'm just saying nobody gets over the bridge except on their own ability. Nobody's going to, you know, we've talked about this, you know, how many people we see just sitting back waiting for a reset on the financial shit and all this other stuff. Well, you know what that does? It puts everybody into a false sense of security and lulls them back to sleep to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because that's important. This supposed financial reset has been in the works for an awfully long time. Mm-hmm. But you're right. It's not just a false sense of security that is the purpose of this. It's to get people to relax. You know, it's almost like, you know, the powers that be, the Illuminati, they see that the heat on the frying pan is just a little too hot. Things are starting to jump around just a little too much. Well, let's add something to the pan. Let's add molten cold water to the fire and get everything to like calm down and slow down, you know. And that's what they'll do. They throw a bone at the people and say, we're going to do a financial reset. They give them something to hope for. Then they create a phone chain of their own operatives, which have weekly. And isn't it interesting? It's almost like just like going to church. You keep hearing over and over again, this is all going to roll out soon. It's all coming soon. Don't worry. Don't get upset. Don't get uptight. You know, it's a metaphor. It's just like when the cowboys were out on the range, and then they have the big herd, and they'd be having a cattle drive, and they'd be going like from one part of the country to the other. In the evenings, in order to keep the cattle calm, the cowboys would play either guitar or they'd play harmonica. They'd do something to soothe the herd, because they don't want the herd to run away. Okay. So what do you got going on here? You know, you got this financial reset. You've got all kinds of little fake ploys in play right now. Oh, we're going to have mass landings. Don't worry. Don't get upset. Don't stampede. They don't want the herd to stampede. Okay? Because the truth is hard to bear for these people. So they're going to play a harmonica. They're going to have channeled entities that are coming through and telling you, just be calm, be collected, don't worry, it's all being taken care of. Okay? And then people, they get calm. Okay? They settle down, they say, okay, it's being taken care of. Someone's on this. But you know what? There's a flip side to that. All of a sudden now I don't have to do anything. It's being taken care of. So it's almost like the ball has been taken out of your court again. And you've again handed over the authority and the responsibility for your own self, your own education, and your own enlightenment to someone else who promised that they were going to do something for you. Now, the fact that it never happens doesn't matter, because people want to have hope that someone's going to do it for them, and they're going to wait. In the case of this financial reset, well, how long has it been?
Yep.
How many months or years has this been going on and on and on and on and on? And people are going, well, yeah, it's coming next week because the phone call says so. Well,
Right.
you know, if you go into church, they say Jesus is coming back very soon too, because the preacher says so. You know, every seventh period, every seventh day. And you just keep going and going and going. You feel a little bit better about your life because, well, I went. You know, I still have this faith. I have belief that this is all going to come. So I can relax. And I don't have to worry about what's really going on in the planet. You know, that's what happens with this kind of thing.
Yep. Just more diversionary constructs to keep the masses busy and how do you say, I don't know, keep people in a state of apathy to not taking action. Right.
Well, yeah, it is apathy, but they roll it out and make it look like something's going to happen. It's a distraction. It's make you calm. The whole point is to calm people down. Okay. They don't want the herd stampeding or running away. Okay. So, I mean, it's fun. It's almost funny because, you know, they've been at this for so long. They must have seen hundreds, thousands of other things like this come out, and they're pretty good at calming the herd down, you know, and whatever it takes, you know. And the thing most people really don't get, I guess, is that along with people like you, people like me, who are really trying to wake the masses up, right alongside of us, you know, on the internet, because it's all one big access way to the truth, there's a whole bunch of people who are put out there just to calm the herd down. You know, they work for the Illuminati, they work for the cabal. You know, they don't want to see a stampede. So their job is to go out and psyop, you know, talk about things that are imminent. Good things are happening. Don't worry. Don't get upset. You know, even though you're a slave, don't worry, because we're going to get you out of this. And you don't have to do anything. Just sit home and we're going to arrest everybody for you. I mean, I think that was a big deal about 3 years ago, the mass arrests. There was a guy named Drake pushing this.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he was over at Freedom Reigns over at Deatra's house. I know. I used to do a radio over there, so I know.
Right.
I know who you speak. Yeah, he had a lot of followers, but he was blowing smoke too.
Right. Well, he was talking about mass arrests. They were about to happen. It was imminent that mass arrests were going to happen. Yeah. Well, here 3 years down the road, who's been arrested?
Nobody.
Nobody. No. But what did that do? That took people and settled them down. You know, got them to settle down and not get all upset and worried about what was going on behind the curtain. You know, it's just like the Wizard of Oz again. You know, the guy is behind the curtain. They don't want you to see who's behind the curtain. So they have to roll out, instead of the big smoking mean head, they roll out a big smoking nice head, you know, for a while. And they'll, you know, don't listen to that mean head. Look over here at this nice head for a while. And don't look behind the curtain, but, you know, and we'll blow more smoke up your butt and tell you things you want to hear. And people buy that because it's scary to think that they might have to actually figure this out on their own.
Yep. Well, Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, people, I think a lot of people just choose not, I call it the ostrich syndrome, bury your head in the sand, everything's going to be hunky-dory. Don't look here, look over there. It's a lot of shape shifting going on.
Yeah. But you can see why they do that. They really, it is fear. It's the terror of finally seeing what has been out there, which you've kind of, or they have kind of been blind to because they had rose-colored glasses on. They weren't really seeing the reality as it was.
Right.
They had a fake reality installed. Well, the religion is going to help you, and the bankers are going to help you, and your teachers are going to help you, and the military is going to help you, and all these surrogate parents for all the adults out there, because even the adults apparently need surrogate parents to look after them, are taking care of you. Well, when that bubble is burst, what do you do? I mean, first of all, you got to admit that you weren't seeing things very clearly. And then all of a sudden it becomes a big issue as to what you're going to do about it. And, the first reaction, I think you're right, is they bury their head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. And that's not what's going to happen. Is no, you have to actually figure out what you did wrong, take responsibility for it, live your life from a new point of view, and be really careful about getting sucked in to a whole nother lie, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Signing away your permission and your consent to a whole new construct that's equally untrue.
Yeah. Well, it's just like in America, all the folks, thinking signing petitions is going to do it. Signing petitions, marching, no. Those will have absolutely no effect on the system, because you're not taking responsibility in doing a push away from the King's buffet table. If you're sitting at the King's buffet table, then they have the right to dictate whatever they want, because you came on board and you didn't. You gave your permission and consent when you stepped into that realm. So
right. So, but this is the thing. I don't think it's going to happen very quickly, and it's probably not going to happen very easily. It's going to take time for people to get used to walking on their own 2 feet, almost like a little child. The first couple of steps they take, if they've never walked, they teeter, they wobble, and then they fall. And because they're very uncertain of how to do it. And that's what adults, and I'm sorry to have to be so blunt about this, but this is real, actual adults. This is the process. They're going to get up on their own 2 feet, try and take back their power, do things for themselves under their own authority, and fall right on their butt, because they're uncertain what that means. They're uncertain of who they are inside, because ultimately we all have the authority, and the authority is inside us. It's our own connection to source. And it's our own connection to the infinite and the eternal. And that's what we need to turn in toward. Or they always say, go within, go into your own source and go into your own authority to decide what you need to do. So that being said, that's what people need to do. And that's how they decide what their next step is.
Well, it's ironic. They're all classified as human resources. So they literally outsourced their life to this false construct. And they didn't, but I mean, it's a masterful plan. I mean, we got multiple generations that have been stuck in the same walk and didn't know that they were supposed to throw that yoke off their back.
there's a lot of ways this awakening could have gone down. It could have gone down a lot better. It could have gone down a lot easier if the cabal or the Illuminati had decided, well, it's time for us to go. It's time for us to give up. And literally kind of said, okay, there'll be a transitionary period, and they admitted what they had done. The problem is they're not doing that. They're basically saying the ship may be sinking, but we're going down with the ship. Okay, we're not quitting. We're never going to quit. We're gonna take every last soul with us, that can't stand up on their own 2 feet, which means that our job just became infinitely harder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because now there's no segue, there's no bridge to walk across while people are moving from being taken care of by the Illuminati and the cabal to standing on their own 2 feet. It's like taking someone, you throw them in the deep end of the pool and you say, sink or swim, live or die, it's your choice.
Yep.
And you got a lot of human beings out there, a lot of people that are going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this isn't what I wanted. I didn't want to have to stand up on my own 2 feet all at once, never having done this, and just, be totally responsible for every decision I make.
Yep.
So that's where the fear comes in. But there is a way to get around that, and we've talked about that before. You have to stay out of fear. You have to turn yourself toward loving other people. Love yourself, love other people, help other people, because this isn't easy. And any kind of help you can possibly give is going to go a long way to keeping these other people calm and keeping them focused and centered on learning how to walk. It's almost like taking a child's hand and you hold it while they're walking. But that's something that a lot of people don't want to do either, because they say, well, I'm an adult, that's an adult. Why do I have to teach them how to take care of themselves? They should know that already, and they don't, So you almost have to treat real adults like little kids.
Well, it's ironic, everybody's stuck in the sea of illusion, and they haven't come back home. And, it's ironic that we uncover this stuff like with Jonah and Curtis and coming back home, and they call it age of majority. Mm-hmm. Because right now everybody's acting like a minor. And if you continue to act like a minor and you want somebody to do it for you, then you're going to be treated like a minor. And they're going to mind your business for you on your behalf, because you aren't responsible enough to man up and say, I can stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah, that's very interesting that you bring that up. And I do know what you mean by that. But there's other people, like, for instance, if I put this on my blog, they'll have no clue what that means. Why don't you get into just a little bit about when a person actually goes from being a minor to being in the majority, or if that ever happens?
Well, I know Jonah's on the other side. He's on the do not detain and all that. He's already washed himself on through the front door, and he came back age of accountability, or age of majority. He knows how to stand on his own 2 feet. But he got sucked into the vortex, into the game. And my very first show I did with him, he was telling me how they caught him flat-footed. And I mean, he was an engineer, making decent funds, and it was over so-called, I think it was, what the hell was it? Anyways, they put him in jail under the guise of that he hadn't paid his back child care or something like that when he had. Anyways, it was just interesting. But he had never been compromised. See, we all walk through life, and we are naive to how evil this thing really is and how the game really works, what happens, and why they want to drag everybody into court so they can hypothecate their butts. And it's all just about a control construct. But so everybody, even I was sort of naive until I had a gun pulled on me at a roadside stop in order for me to sign the ticket. The two of them with their hands on their guns. I says, how does that work? Forced compliance at the end of a gun does not a valid contract make. But they used intimidation tactics. I would have never believed it had I not been on the receiving end of that bad behavior.
Right. Well, here, let's do this. As according to my understanding and what I understand, because of the birth certificate and because of what they have done to us, every human being becomes a minor in the eyes of the state because you're abandoned property.
Yep.
Okay? You're orphaned. You become abandoned property. Okay.
Yep.
Then, after 7 days, if no one claimed the abandoned property, you become a ward of the state.
Yep.
Okay. Am I correct? So
yeah. And also, they do a foundling document on everybody after 7 days as well. Lost and found anybody?
Right.
Curtis uncovered that. I think it's under Chicago 350.11. I think it's up there. Anyway, so just for anybody who's thinking on making it up, every state does a foundling document because Daddy didn't know he was supposed to make a claim. Mommy gave you over as the informant. Curtis and I covered this really well on Tuesday. Matter of fact, when I post that show, everyone and listen to that.
I think I'm gonna actually put that up on my blog because that's really important information. But I'm going to continue right here. So ultimately, what happens is once you're an orphan and you become a ward of the state because no one claimed you at birth, and your parents didn't actually file a claim.
Right.
Then you became a ward of the state, and the state now looks after you as a minor. Now, if you don't actually claim yourself back, you stay a minor for the rest of your life.
Right.
You stay a ward of the state, and the state, as a minor, you have no rights against the state because you're still underage.
Yep. Okay. Even if you, for people that don't quite get this, folks, that it doesn't matter if you're 75. If you don't complete the task of claiming your birthright to go back home to finish what you're going to be at the mercy of the system until you grow up and walk like a man. Hey, go figure.
So this is kind of like what I'm getting to is in the eyes of the system, they have set it up very cleverly on paper that each and every man, woman, and child is first abandoned at birth. The state claims it or takes it in. They do a foundling document, say, hey, we found this. This child who claims it, they put it, and then of course they put the birth record in the paper, which is the indication to the parents that they actually have to go to the county and claim that kid.
Yep.
Filling out proper documents. Now, of course, this is the whole bait and switch. They give you a birth certificate and they say, oh, this is your child, but what they're doing is they're actually recording that child as an orphan. And as a ward of the state. So what going in and then claiming yourself, you basically have to claim yourself back. In other words, and that's the process that they actually recognize.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things you can do. I mean, you can stomp your feet up and down, all day long and say, I'm an adult. I'm an adult. What are you talking about?
Right.
They did this to you. Okay. Your parents had no clue. You had no clue. This was all being done by the government you trusted, and now this is all being uncovered, kind of like how they did it. And people like Curtis and people like Jonah are bringing this knowledge to the front and saying, okay, here's what they did. Now here's how you get out of it.
Right.
And those are some of the other shows that you've done and some of the other stuff that you've covered.
Well, freedom with responsibility. That's what it comes down to. So, I mean, for those that want to stay on the child's side of the equation, everybody has free will and they can stay put and not extricate themselves if they choose not to. That's why So when I finish this deal, yeah, I guess I'm going to be going to the registrar's office, and we're going to have a little conversation. She's going to, matter of fact, yeah, Curtis, I'll have to show you his declaration. Yeah, no, I'll have to declare that I came back from the dead. But I will have my original. You know what I'm talking about. It will be in my hand, and they got to close. It's time. It's time to close this book. It's time to close this book. It's my life now, and I'm taking it back.
Well, here's the thing. This is a good little bit to talk about right here, because people just don't think that this has gone on. They don't think it got this bad. They don't think that, well, these people couldn't possibly have done this. You know, it would have to have been a worldwide conspiracy, you know, to take that kind of approach, to monetize and to collateralize the birth of their children, or their birth and their body and their life, like they've done. But that's what's happened, and it's a big pickle to try and solve.
Yep.
So,
well, the upside is now that we have the keys to the castle, because the king's coming home. It's always good to be the king of your own castle. See, because when you are responsible, you have no involuntary servitude to nobody. But right now, it's voluntary servitude, because people don't realize that they've been trapped.
Well, right, and this is why. Okay, this is the reason why the state can force you to pay child support. Mm-hmm. The state can ticket you for speeding. That they can come and take your children away because you don't really own them. They belong to the state. Okay. No. This is why all of this is possible. It's possible because on paper, on court documents, on bank documents, this was done.
No.
The only way is to undo it. The only way out is to undo it, and you have to undo it in a way that their courts and their system will recognize.
Right.
There are people, as we speak, that are undoing it.
Yeah.
Okay, they're taking back their sovereignty, they're taking back their freedom, but it's a long road to hoe, because there's a lot of paperwork that was done. You have to figure out what they did, and then you have to figure out a remedy on how to undo it in a way that their court and their system will recognize.
Right. Well, that's why. Yeah. Can you stand your ground on your birth tile? You know what I'm saying? You know. I have a friend who she had a court issue, and she's done the authentication, but she didn't know how to stand her ground, and they just ran right over her. The only thing that would have been coming off my lips if I was to be in the court in any way, shape, or form was, who here has a superior claim to I? And I'll be holding my damn my documents in my hand. I'm the only one who has the title in this game. So knowing that, see, because I know who I am. I know internally, so I know I can stand on my tile. The only thing I'm going to be asking them is 3 times is who's got a superior claim to I, and nobody in that court can say they have a superior claim to I.
Right, and if they can't, then matter is dismissed. Lack of jurisdiction.
Yep.
Lack of jurisdiction. See, but the thing is most people go into court because they are still under the control of the system. Yep. The system feels, well, we actually have claim against you, your body, your mind, your soul, and therefore anything that you have done against our regulations, we can then take action to punish because we own you. Okay, that's the whole thing. It's like, all right, and you know, without belaboring all of this and getting into it, it's a very big issue for a lot of people to take time out of their daily lives and go, oh my God, you mean that's what's going on? A lot of people, I think, are going to go, well, why don't I'll just follow every rule and I'll just do every little thing they tell me and I'll just try and stay safe in my house for another year or so, and I'll stay safe and not do anything. But see, here's the thing. In the meantime, all this really bad stuff is going on out there. Wars are going on, battles are going on, theft is going on. And there may come a day when it's going to come home right at your doorstep.
Yep.
And who are you going to go to then?
Right. And then because there, let me just get my door. Hold on. Yeah, see, and this is a conundrum, and let's talk about this, because I deal with this, stuff day in and day out. People, the bear is on the doorstep, and they wait till the bear gets on the doorstep, and then it's an emergency, and then it's an emergency. And guess what happens when you're in an emergency? You can't think straight, you can't process information. Now you're in like a fight or flight mode. And the last thing you want to do is be in a fight or flight mode, and you don't want to be under the wheels of the bus. In other words, but that's human nature, to sit on your hands until the shit hits the fan, and then when the shit hits the fan, then oh geez, I'm in a state of emergency, and now they're in a state of psychogenic shock, I call it.
Yeah.
And
and you know what? Here, with all sympathy and compassion, it's a tough deal. It really is a tough deal because, it's big. It's really big, and people have got to take it slow. They've got to take it one step at a time. They got to say, okay, what's been done? What has gone on?
Right.
What is really going on? And they got to get comfortable with the idea that, okay, is there, and then they have to ask them, well, is there something I can do about this? And there is something you can do.
Yes.
But the first and foremost thing is don't get afraid. Don't be fearful. Don't get angry about this. Just say, okay, do research. If nothing else, take some time, quit watching television.
Yep.
Quit going to the basketball games and the football games.
Yep.
Quit going to the movies, and sit in front of YouTube and watch some videos. And if you have to watch 2 hours of videos every night for a week, in a week you got 14 hours of education. Okay?
Well, and is there such a place that shares stuff like this? I have this site. I think it's called Privatis.Me. There's an 8-week curriculum over there that I give away to the planet for free. That's the starting point. That's ground zero. And they have to walk through those portals to find out how they got here and how they get to go back home. But until you go through those fundamentals on how we got here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to learn about why being a voter is not a good thing, why being in the military industrial complex is not a good thing, why the medical industrial complex is compromising. So that's why I said, okay, now we have to do the mind, body, spirit. So, but the upside is it's already created, and they can, like you say, if they took one day to go through each section within 8 days, I guess we built Rome in 7 days. So, anyways, you've got to deconstruct it, and you can't deconstruct it until you find out how this all happened, and that's why we start with the birth certificate and about the unconsenting. I know that's what's nice. See, my brain has already taken that train ride in the head, because I've gotten over a lot of how do you put bridges. And matter of fact, I need to show you my documents, my unconsenting documents. I did that about 2 years ago. What do they say? It takes 2 to say yes and 1 to say no. So when I unconsented from the marriage contract, I terminated that too. Everybody thinks you have to go through the divorce court. Well, as a man, I can unconsent. I can fix any mistake. That's matter of fact, being a responsible man, that's what I'm supposed to do is fix. If I made a mistake, I got to fix it. That's all we're doing here. We're fixing the mistake, removing the presumptions. We're not going to war. We're not fighting. We don't have to fight. We're going in harmony. We're going in love. And I got, what's nice, I have other bright brothers and sisters that are awake and they're getting this. And that's why we created the documents, because we knew that people were in the deep end. They got to eat from the tree of truth and life. They got to be able to want to take a bite of that apple. It's not poisonous. It's a good apple.
Well, it is, but it's the apple of taking care of yourself. of saying, okay, that I'm going to stand up on my own 2 feet and I'm going to learn all I can learn and I'm going to be responsible. There's human beings really love to believe that someone's taking care of them. I don't know why, but I've read articles in my research that have said that when they genetically modified the human being, they gave us genetically a need to worship. It's like genetically wired into our system. We need to have gods. We need to worship other beings. And I think it was the beings that actually genetically manipulated us, that gave us that tendency. So human beings don't feel comfortable unless they have a belief in something, like some other being that's going to take care of it for them.
Right.
And that's fine if the other being that's going to take care of it for him actually does, or cares to, or has the best interest of human beings in mind. But if not, then human beings need to actually look into taking care of themselves, figuring this out on their own. And genetically, that's not comfortable, because it's just more genetically comfortable to, go to church every 7 days and pray and say that then it'll be taken care of.
Yeah, well, like I say, that's apathetic. And like I say, giving over to these false constructs is that's the kiss of death, so to speak. I call it. And I've always marched to the beat of a different drummer. Go figure. I'm a drummer, but I've always wanted to be free and unencumbered. Always. That's my nature, to be do no harm and go live life on purpose and make a difference in somebody's world just by like you say, a smile or talking to somebody. I give a lot of people my time, but they're worth it. See, because they're a source and I'm a source. So I didn't outsource my source. I am the source.
Yeah. Well, what? No, that's perfect. You're the source of the love that you choose to demonstrate and you choose to bring forth. Every human being on earth is a source of love. All they have to do is reach in their own heart and start manifesting that love. But what gets in the way is the mind. The mind gets in the way. The mind stops the heart. And the way the mind stops the heart is very interesting, because there's all kinds of reasons why we've discovered that we don't need to help other people. And I've brought a few of these out in some of the articles I've written. One of the biggest, what I call stand downs, is information that has been channeled over and over and over again. And that information is that if people are going through hard times, if people are having bad luck, if people are going through really, really, really horrible misery, it's their karma. And then of course, it's not just karma, or like something they deserve. That is, there's some channels that'll even go so far as to say, well, you asked for that. You wanted to experience this pain and this suffering. So, and then there's these people that say, well, and they're spiritual, and they say, well, this guy is going through some hard stuff, but I believe in karma. And I believe that it's that man or woman or child's karma to go through that. So I'm not going to help, because I would just be negating the karma. Okay. So I'm not going to use my loving heart. I'm not going to come forth with assistance. What I will do is I will sit inactive on top of my hands, doing nothing, and observe. Oh, how do they say it? Well, I will lovingly observe. I will send you compassion, from a distance while you go through your misery. Isn't that the perfect way for a nefarious dark force to take over an entire planet? Now, why? The reason it's easy is because if you have a whole society going through miserable experiences, none of whom are willing to help each other, that's perfect separation.
Yep.
There is no easier society to conquer than one that is divided
Yep.
or separated. The only way to become strong for a society is to come together in unity.
Yes.
Unity means we care about each other. That means I care about what happens to you, and you care about what happens to me.
Yep.
Okay? And if bad things are happening to me, you come to my aid.
Yes.
If bad things are happening to you, I come to your aid. Okay?
Yes.
That is what strengthens the bond between humans and makes it almost impossible for an outside force to come and conquer us or take over. Now, the New Age, as good as it believes it is, and there's a lot of people in the New Age with really big hearts, have no clue they're being played.
Right.
They don't. They really think, because they believe so strongly in this idea of karma, that it's your karma, and I don't want to interfere with your karma, that they instead, they can't find a way to love someone else that actually means anything in helping another person with their problems or their difficulties. Here's the block. Okay, I want to help with my heart. I feel sadness at that other person's pain, but head says, well, karma. So, okay, can't get past the head.
Yeah.
You got to get back into the heart. You got to see everyone as your brother and your sister. You got to see everyone out there who suffers as someone who really needs assistance, and then do your best to help.
Yes. Yeah. Don't.
Problem solved.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's good to be in the heart, and that, folks. And this is really what it boils down to. When you see a brother or sister in pain, to ignore it is the same as saying, I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that means.
Right.
And if you can't have compassion for your brother, how can your brother have compassion for you? So, I'm always looking to go out of my way to brighten somebody's life up a little bit,
Well, let's look and see what happened over the last 50 years. I remember a time when I was young, when people used to go over to other people's house and they would help. They would, oh, you're having a problem. What, something broke? Well, let's come and fix it. Or you're building a deck. Well, let's go over and help you build your deck. You don't need to hire anybody. We'll all help. Are you moving? Well, let's all go help you move and load up your furniture. We'll help you pack your boxes. We'll wash your dishes for you. People used to help other people. Then time went on, and of course we got more technologically advanced, and people got used to having little toys and more distractions, so they weren't visiting each other as much. But then after that, which is this perfectly choreographed little thing that happens step by step by step, along comes the New Age that says, well, karma is involved, and people who are this, that, and the other thing, if they're having karma issues, you don't want to interfere in their karma. So now people who normally would have helped others are holding back. Okay. And they're saying, well, maybe it's just better if I meditate, or maybe it's better if I work on me. Well, you get a whole planet of nothing but people who are working on me and, but not helping each other. What you got is a whole bunch of little me's everywhere and no unity.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, this ascension idea, this ties perfectly right into that. Well, you don't need to help someone else. Just look at you. It's all about you right now. Raise your energy, raise your vibration. Okay, well, that's been going on. And is the world changing? I mean, are the wars stopping? Is peace opening on the planet? No, because the planet is a reflection of the love that we offer to each other. Okay. The planet and what's going on here is a reflection of what we are doing here. So if all we're doing is sitting by ourselves in our room, doing nothing to help others, well, the planet is reflecting that.
Yeah.
That's the message that the earth is sending out as a signal and saying, here, look how that's working for you. Okay. Is it okay? And people will say, yeah, but this channel told me that. It told me that I should do that. And I believed it. So, well, but the government told you things too. Your teachers told you things. Your parents told you things. The priests have told you things. They weren't right either.
Right.
So I'm just wondering when humans are finally going to get to the point when they're going to get to the point and say, hey, yeah, these channelers were lying to us too, dang it. And admit that to themselves. Then we've made some real progress. Now we can get down to business and fix things.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, just self-sufficiency starts with us, doesn't it?
No. Well, it does, but it also starts with giving out a hand to your brother and your sister in need, whatever it is. We'll come together in unity and help one another and live as if people matter to us. And even if it's in another country, this idea that they can just be bombing the crap out of Yemen or Iran or Iraq or whatever country it is that they're bombing today. People are just so immune to it. They're just so, well, another war, and they're shell shocked. You've got to at least say in your own mind that you do not agree to that. You don't consent to it. You have to start there. Because at least if you could remove your consent on the level of your own thinking, that means something.
Yeah. Well, I did a nice video on unconsenting with Johnny about 2 years ago, 2 summers ago. And I did I need to send that back out. Why you want to unconsent. Mm-hmm. But like I say, nobody has to get angry about it. No war. When you become an adult, then you grow up and you get to change your mind. Yeah. But it's you got to empower yourself first. You got to know that you first got to realize there's something wrong, and that's I'm glad that I was able to start the party for the unconsenting. And there's others who are following suit as well on the unconsenting. So that's good. It's nice starting a trend, I guess.
You're a trailblazer.
I'm a barn burner. But it's nice to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And you know why I do it? You know why I do it. Mm-hmm. It's all about the love.
That's all it is. And that raises believe it or not, that's what raises your vibration. Because here, I'll go into again, I've said this before, I think we need to cover it again. Okay, raising your vibration, there's only 2 directions to go. Here's what someone told me, as a very spiritual teacher told me one time. He said, in the game of frequency, there is no standing still. You're either moving up or you're moving down. There's no resting, okay? Right. It's almost like gravity. I mean, gravity pulls you down until you hit the ground. You don't stop halfway between the plane and the ground and rest.
Right.
You fall until you hit something, okay? Yeah. Until something stops you. All right, it's the same way with your frequency. You're either moving up, okay, or you're moving down. There's no, okay, I've moved up and I plateau, now I'm resting here. Because the minute you start resting, you're going backward.
Yeah.
Okay? And there's 2 ways or there's 2 directions you can go. Like I said, up or down. The way you go up is the frequency spiral is love, helping other people, and then it turns to unity. All right? Yeah. The downward spiral is fear. It starts in fear. Fear leads to attack, whether it's a verbal attack, mental attack, physical attack. And if you look out in the news, if you look out in the world, there's a lot of attack going on out there. And the people are attacking because they're fearful. They're fearful of something. They're fearful of losing something. They're fearful of not having enough. They're fearful of losing their power. Okay. But that's the downward spiral. You fear, then you attack. Attack leads to separation, the feeling of separation, which leads to more fear. So if you want to lower your frequency, okay, then just start with fear. Okay. If you want to raise your frequency, start with love.
Yeah.
Okay. And bring out the love, and bring it out daily. Okay. Because it's a spiral. It doesn't just, because people say, well, okay, I'm going to focus 5 minutes on love, and then I'm going to go the other 23 hours and 55 minutes, I'm going to play a video game and watch television. Well, you didn't go anywhere. Your 5 minutes of love came right back down to the ground. Okay. It's like the guy who, tried to flap his wings and then come back down. You come right back down.
Yep.
The only way to get that frequency rising is to continuously use it. Love, helping other people, more unity, love, helping other people, and sending out that love.
Yep.
And you know what? That's the recipe that will win the game for us.
Yep.
All of us. B, that's the recipe right there. I just gave it to you, for everyone on the planet to get free. There's no other way but that one.
Yep.
And C, just start doing it.
Yep. Well,
We just come together and as a unified whole in love.
Yep.
Sounds too simple, huh?
It is, bro. But see that was the whole point of the exercise of me creating Privatis.Me. I wanted other like-minded, hearted, and spirited people just like me. And I have a house that we'll call it the house that Peter built. Go figure. I think that's a truck Peter built. Anyways, but I did it with the good intent. That was the whole reason we created Privatis.Me, so we could show the love for the mind, body, and spirit, and bring our collective brothers and sisters together, and we all share in unity, and then we're having harmony. I don't like disarray in the house. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's throwing rocks at my front door, I might get a little excited. So, but it's been one hell of a ride. But now I have a place for people to go if they want to, but they got to come through this door in order to get through the back, to go out the back door.
Yeah. Now here's another thing we should talk about. Love does not mean letting people walk on you.
No.
Love does not mean you're a doormat. Love does not mean that if you're faced with a human being who is challenging you at every level, that you will not stand up for yourself and take immediate action to put a stop to whatever abuse is happening. Because love means also self-love. And also, here's another thing that the new age doesn't understand. Is it is not loving to allow another person to do harm.
Yep.
Yeah, to treat you badly or to treat other people badly. And they say, well, let's not judge that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you need to judge that. Not only do you need to judge that, you take immediate action. Okay? Because I am not being loving to myself nor to anybody else if I am allowing bad behavior to happen right in front of me, especially if it's damaging either myself, my property, or somebody else I care about. You immediately get involved, you intervene, you pin someone down to the ground if necessary, and say, stop it. Because ultimately that person's soul is going to thank you. Because bad behavior cannot be sanctioned. I've talked about this before, in this idea that we can't judge anything. Mark Passio, I'm telling you, I love watching the guy on YouTube because he talks about stuff like this, how we do need to judge action. And we'll get a little bit graphic here, but if somebody is, raping a little girl in the street and you happen by, this idea that, well, let me not judge that. I don't want to get involved because I don't want to get karma or something like that. No, You go and you grab that guy by the scruff of the neck. You pull him off right by God now. You pin him to the ground and you give him one good swat in the face. And what the hell are you doing? Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you do. And that is a loving thing to do. It's loving to you. It's loving to the planet. It's loving to him, because he was acting in a way that was outside of natural
Do no harm.
Yeah, do no harm. Okay, so and to not judge that, what you're doing then is you are manifesting or putting into place a scenario whereby that behavior becomes commonplace. Okay, and then all of a sudden people are going, well, I was loving, I didn't judge. Why is the world getting so bad right in front of my eyes? Why isn't God himself giving me the planet I want? Well, God would give you the planet you want if you actually acted on your heart and acted on what you claim you want, which is a loving planet. Okay? There are things in the physical 3D world we are called to do. And we do have to judge right from wrong, good from bad, evil from not evil. Okay? The New Age are, sadly, they're misleading people. They're just they're doing it in such a way that it's very seductive. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Subtle. And leading people to believe that there is nothing they personally have to do, and not to judge anybody else. Anything they do, anything's okay now, no matter what they want to do. And what that does ultimately is it leads to dysfunction and disharmony. In my humble opinion, that's where it's leading. And I wish people could see that.
Well, to stand back and do nothing is not a viable option. See, and that's what I've been saying for years. If you want to get off the plantation, funding your own demise by supporting white coat medicine or the shots, the pharma crap. You're supporting your own demise.
Yes.
And now what makes it even worse is we got the proof that we know they're just it's just poisons, thimerosal, mercury, formaldehyde, and the truth is out. But yet you put that truth in a medical. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Where the hell is their souls? That's what I'm just going. To know now. This is what makes it even worse. To deliberately inject somebody with this poison in the face of overwhelming evidence that we have the proof that there's nothing but poison in them. I have a website that I send people to. It's called www.novaccine.com, and they actually list all the crap they put on there. You know what? Some clown's gonna tell me I want to get that shot. Well, he goes to the front. He's gonna go to the head of the line first. But see, I wouldn't even do that to my own brother. I would see they knowingly putting poisons in their brothers.
Right.
And you see all these shingles shots and all this crap, and all the numbskulls go run and get their poison shot, and they don't realize that they're compromising their whole immune system. That's why everybody's got, I like Dr. Tent. I need to get him on the show. He talks about the autoimmune and all this stuff going down. And but here's some irony. Now California just ramrodded that shot thing through, and now it's forced compliance for all the adults out in California, and they did it under the cloak of darkness because they knew the people were saying no. But I just saw an article. I think it was just today. Yeah, matter of fact, it's not a black and white issue, but the black and white issue is coming in unity. In telling these shot hijackers stick their shots where the sun don't shine.
Right, so right.
Now we're getting people to wake up and they're actually unifying, because like I say, I don't notice skin color. I'm colorblind. I notice the heart. I notice energy. But to deliberately put these poisons in our brothers and sisters. So for those that work in the medical community, and your ignorance is no excuse. You know, what do they say?
Yeah.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Well,
Yeah. Well, Peter, you hit the nail on the head, though. There are a tremendous amount of people, okay, that have really good minds and really good hearts, who are still in support of the system. They have not withdrawn their consent nor their support through their dollars and through their lives that they are living. They are supporting the system. Now, on my blog, which is bradleyloves.wordpress.com. If you go back maybe about 9 or 10 articles, I picked up just a 7-minute video from Mark Passio, and it's called Order Followers. And he was giving a seminar on what he called natural law. Now, there's 3 videos on my website right after that particular one called Order Followers, where he talks about natural law. Each video is between 2 and 3 hours long. It's like 9 hours.
Oh, I know. He's done some great work. I've watched it. I watch his work. Yeah.
Okay, so now here's the thing. The deal on Order Followers, as he said, it is, and this is a 7-minute, and people should go there and watch it, because he says it's not the Illuminati or the cabal or anybody else that is still maintaining the system of slavery on this planet. He said the system of slavery on this planet is being supported and maintained by order followers.
Yep.
And he said, let me say it again. Order followers, those who follow orders, are maintaining the system of slavery.
Yep.
Because he said, if you're following someone else's orders, then you are not thinking consciously about whether you are doing something moral or ethical. You are just acting on someone else's orders. Okay.
Yep.
But he said that's how, because there's far more of us. Okay, there's far more of us than the Illuminati or the cabal. They could not maintain slavery on this planet if there weren't millions and millions and millions of people following orders daily to maintain the system, to hurt their brothers and sisters, to inject, like you said, put vaccines in their bodies, to GMO the foods, to do every little thing that is causing our problem and aiding and abetting the destruction of the human race.
Yeah.
Stop following other people's orders.
Yep.
And think for yourself. Now, go back to what we were talking about right at the beginning of this. And remember how I said people are really fearful of standing up on their own 2 feet.
Yep.
Why are they afraid? Because they've been following orders all their life. Someone's been telling them what to do. How hard is it for a person who has been told what to do every day of their life to make their own decision? Let's just take a doctor or a nurse who's injecting little babies with vaccine all their life. Now, they're just following what they're told. What if that nurse all of a sudden said, I have free will. I'm going to use my own head. I am going to take responsibility for every action I do on the planet, and I am going to refuse to inject children. Or a banker who's foreclosing on a mortgage that knows that the mortgage is a scam. Or anything you can think about, people following orders, and they stop. We're free tomorrow. Tomorrow is a whole brand new world. Okay?
Yeah.
People need to stop following orders. Now, I did not say it as eloquently as Mark Passio, which I recommend. Go to my blog, bradleyloves.wordpress.com. Look up Order Followers. It's 7 minutes of pure genius.
Yeah, I'll have to grab that and post it over at my house too.
Yeah, because it talks about what's going on. But see here again, That's where the courage comes in. That's where you have to have the courage to do this, because we're never going to get free and we're never going to come together in unity if people don't stand together and have each other's backs.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you're in a battle, you're in a war, even a soldier knows, I mean, dude, you got to have your men's backs. If you
Yeah.
don't, then you all get picked off.
Yes.
So you know, in trying to get free, you know, in trying to set ourselves free, we got to have each other's backs, which
Yeah.
means helping each other,
Yes.
which means sticking up for each other, which means looking out for each other.
Yeah, we are our brother's keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. And any new age channeling to the contrary is ridiculous. Don't listen to it, please. Please use discernment when you listen to these things. I'm not saying they're all wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of them are wrong, you know, and then they're talking about stuff that's not true, you know, and who knows where it's coming from.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got to start with intent. See, when you see somebody in pain, you got to go to them with good intent. How can I help you resolve the pain? If you have a dog, he's got a thorn in his paw. You're going to help relieve that pain. That's part of the human element. That's part of the love vibration. And,
Yeah. Well, do you know something that's really kind of funny? Is I have seen over the last several decades, people love their animals now far more than they love other people.
Yeah.
They have been so shell-shocked with all the stuff that's happening out there that they want to use their heart. And see, here's another thing is no channel has ever told them that a dog has karma. And no channel has ever told them that a cat has karma. So when their cat or their dog or their pony is having all kinds of trouble, they go and help. Because well, you know, it's just an innocent life. And of course I would want to help an innocent life, right? That's what I'm here to do. So immediately the brain is gone. They're not thinking about anything and they're just using their heart. But when they see someone homeless on the street or when they see a human being in trouble, immediately the brain kicks in, the new age dogma, the new age brainwashing that that person has got karma. So I'm going to ignore my heart and I'm going to immediately walk by because and it's the same human being. Okay, so the human being has censored their heart with their head and all the crap that has been fed in there by the community that says, well, karma this, karma that. Do you know if I could erase one word from the entire language of the planet, it would be karma. Yeah. It just bothers me that much, because it interferes with people's heart. No one wants to act. No one wants to help anyone because of karma. Oh, you got karma this, so anyway, well, that's my rant for the day.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, well, home is where the heart is. And if you operate in that domain, in your love vibration, by taking an action, like I get on my computer, I can be on for hours, but sometimes I'll post a tune, and I like to tune up the planet. So I'll find a song that vibrates very nicely, and I'll put it in everybody's little PM boxes and their Skypes and whatever. And I get a lot of people smiling because I thought of them enough to share something, even though it's just music, it's just a tune. But I deliberately intersperse in their world on purpose so we could have a connection, so we could feel some sort of feeling, some sort of love,
Yeah, and that's what people need to do is like get involved in your friends' lives, get involved in helping people, just or have prayer meetings or whatever it is, even if it's spiritual and you're not just doing physical things, but at least you're helping people on a level where you're getting into someone else's space. People need to walk out of their house once in a while, get off the internet, and just go visit someone.
Yep.
And take them some groceries or something like that if they're in need, because Otherwise there's no unity.
Right.
You know.
Everybody's off to the races and doing their own crap. I mean, yeah, we have to intersperse with our brothers and sisters on the planet. This is why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be living our life of quiet desperation and not making an impact on where we can see and make an impact. Oh, jeez. Yeah, but 1 second. Yeah, I'm on a show. Yeah, I'm on TV time, bro. I'll call you back. All right. No, it was Brother Warren. Anyways, no.
So this is where we need to go, as far as I can see. I mean, it's a very simple, very direct solution. It doesn't. But here's the thing: is you get all these people who are very interested, especially in the new age, and the first thing they're gonna say is, yeah, but the channeler said this and the channeler said that. And I'm saying, stop it, just stop it. What do you think? What's in your heart? Okay, act from your heart, act from your own soul, and find out inside what you want, as far as helping other people. And just make a difference in the world, make a difference in other people's lives, and everything's getting better right from there.
Yep. Well, the upside for me is I get to intersperse with a lot of people on the planet these days, and it's soothing for the soul. It makes me feel, because I'm part of something bigger than myself, and it has nothing to do with me-isms. It's we-isms.
Yeah.
Everybody else is on the me-isms. We need to come together. That's part of the unification.
Well, we're only as strong as the weakest link. And, if you're going to leave, a million weak links in your chain, the chain's not going to hold anything.
Right.
And it's never going to pull anything. You got to start helping in ways that strengthen everybody, strengthen the chain. So,
and I mean, look at, I see the division everywhere. What do I say? If we don't come together, we'll fall apart. And, I see I got to touch base on this. It's not about being right to me. I made many mistakes along the way, but I can always fix a mistake. But that's part of the learning process. You're allowed to make mistakes, but it's how you fix them. But I see the division even in our own wheelhouse. Everybody wants to march to the beat of a different drummer and not unify. The separation, the character assassination, throwing. I'm trying to find out what my brothers and sisters are doing right, not what they're doing wrong.
Yeah. No, you're right. We have to be very diligent in how we treat everybody. We treat everybody with respect. We treat everybody with love, unless they are doing things, like we mentioned before, that are like grossly out of line. And here's the thing: it's like all these Satan worshipers out there, these Luciferians, and they're doing this, that, and that. They couldn't possibly do what they do without the support of so many people who have said, well, I'm not going to judge that. Really? Well, then what's going to happen to the planet if you don't? You got to judge that.
Yeah, well, so to stand back and let it happen, like I say, all this black magic going on in the courts, as we've exposed, the garbage, the poisons in the body, it's just nuts. It's and they're deliberately, like I say, the GMOs, the endocrine disruptors in the canned food goods. I mean, who thinks this shit up? That's what I want to know. Who's in charge to think this type of crap up to poison the body?
Cabal. You know what? The families. It's a big deal. Jay Parker, he said that, look, there are what they call generational Satanists. In fact, I'm going to go on my blog, and I'm going to post one of my favorite Jay Parker videos again. And it's like an hour and 15 minutes, and he talks about growing up in a generational Satan worshiping family where his parents were Satan worshipers.
Wow.
And he said his parents told him, well, we're connected to the Illuminati. So people say, well, there's no connection between the Illuminati and Satan worship. No, that's not true. His parents told him, no, we work. Not only that, there's a connection between the Freemasons and Satan worship and the Illuminati. And there's a connection between the Freemasons, Satan worship, the Illuminati, and the reptilians. Okay, the off-worlders, the aliens. It's all connected. Yeah. Now, and here's the other thing. People say that there's no connection between Satan worship and pedophilia. But Jay Parker says that that is the first and foremost thing that all Illuminati, all Satan worshipers, all Freemasons, and all of those people who are at the very top, I mean, not Freemasons at the lower, but at the very top, they all do it. This sex with children. And he said that his parents were having sex with him until he was like 8 years old, and his brothers, and that was just what they did. They all do it.
Man.
So here, and I'm going to put that on my, I'm going to put his video again so people can go there so they can watch it and say, okay, you know, and this guy grew up in that. Now, luckily, he said that it took him years and years and years, decades to heal, but he's okay now. He's healed himself from that, and he's talking about what it was like to grow up in a family that was a generational Satan worshiping family. And he said they hide it really well. He said that in the town that he grew up in, which was Arden, Delaware, I believe that's where he grew up. He said that that town is like 80 to 90% Satan worshipers. Wow. Now, he said when he was a little kid, the whole family would go to Christian church because they didn't want the other people in town to know that they were
out of sorts.
Out of sorts. But he said that after they got out of church, the Christian church, the very next thing they did was went to the satanic church.
Jeez.
Okay, so the thing is you look at people in your church, depending on what town you're in. If you're in Arden, Delaware, half of those people are Satan worshipers.
Yep.
And you don't even know it. Okay, because they're hiding it. They hide it in business. I mean, and the whole thing is about secrecy. Now, here's another subject that really riles me and is one of the biggest. None of this could happen if we didn't have people in our country who were just adamant that secrecy was so necessary. Because of secrecy agreements, because of oaths of secrecy, all of this can continue.
Yeah.
It's only when we as human beings make a personal choice that we're not going to keep secrets any longer, that we're going to expose what we know, i.e. the whistleblower tactic, and we are going to tell what we know and stand up for what's right, then this will all fall apart. Okay. Yeah. But as long as you have people who are order followers, again, willing to honor their oath of non-disclosure and secrecy, the entire Satan worshiping, Illuminati, Freemasonic child thing with the aliens is going to continue. You know, so that's just a shout out to all the people out there who might watch this eventually and say, yeah, well, I know a lot of stuff, but I'm not allowed to tell. Who says you're not allowed to tell? Your order giver? Is that who told you not to tell? Well, is it moral? Is it ethical to continue to keep that secret away from the world and allow the Illuminati to continue to control the planet? Is it moral and is it ethical? If not, you have an obligation to tell the truth and to not keep secrets.
Yeah.
You know? And Mark Passio would have said it the same way.
Yep. Yeah, I need to get Mark. I've poked him before. I'm going to try and get him on the show, see if he'll come on and play ball with Peter.
Yeah. The guy is brilliant. I can't say enough good things about him. I really do respect him. He's brilliant. And he talks in a very down to earth manner about that there is a right, there is a wrong. We need to get this through our heads once and for all.
Yeah.
You know, and otherwise, how is it going to change? How is it going to shift?
Yeah.
You know, how are we going to get the ball over to the other side of the court if we don't hit it, when we're supposed to.
Yeah. Well, it's been one hell of a ride. I guess I think we've said a lot today. And folks, go over to Brother Bradley's site. Give it to him again. Tell him Privatis.Me.
Yeah, it's bradleyloves.wordpress.com.
Yep, and I'm at Privatis.me. It's Privatis.me. Anyways, go over to the house and start being an integral part of your change. The change is only going to take place if you show up and become a part of the change. You be the change you want to be. Right?
Very good.
Anyways, Brother Biggie, thank you very much. Folks, share the love. Go find somebody you can just give them a peck on the cheek, or do something nice for somebody. Go, anything. Just give a little of your energy, and it'll always come back. And isn't that nice? That's what I talk about the heart. I says, I put it out there, and it always comes back.
Excellent.
Thank you, Brother Bradley. I appreciate you sharing love with me today.
No problem, Peter.
Thank you. All right, baby.
If you really had to make a difference on a large scale with minimal resources, how would you go about it? Have you ever dared to dream of doing that which seems impossible? On a planet steeped with corruption and destruction, the question beckons, how do we change it? Media has a far-reaching impact on people and has been used to manipulate humanity into our current destructive patterns. In order to affect people into moving into constructive patterns of behavior, we need to construct a new paradigm of media. Conscious Consumer Network has been created with the explicit intention of giving the amazing truth-seeking, solutions-orientated, alternative media a place to fully realize their true potential with a cutting-edge, high-tech professional media platform. In turn, some of the greatest freedom-seeking hearts and souls of our time have realized the true potential of what has been created and have come together to provide their insight and inspiration on CCN. Conscious Consumer Network has become a unique, interactive information and educational network which provides a free-to-view, live-stream, ultra-high-definition channel to the world and features 25 live shows a week and growing with the addition of multiple language broadcasts. CCN has features comparable with mainstream media, such as being able to pause and rewind broadcasts whilst being live-streamed. Catch up on missed or previous broadcasts, now available from CCN high-definition downloads. You can now purchase a high-definition download of your favorite CCN show from ethymarket.com. Support free and independent media by becoming a monthly pledger. This can be done with a monthly pledge of €10, which will allow you unlimited access to CCN's high-definition downloads, which hosts a back catalogue of over 250 shows which have been aired since the launch of CCN on the 1st of January 2015. In order to keep CCN free of corporate sponsorship and advertising, CCN has launched the Pledge 300 campaign. This is a realistic goal with the hopes of securing a minimum of 300 people who will each pledge €10 a month. With this number, we can continue to grow and operate and potentially expand into a second foreign language channel. Help keep alternative media in the hands of the people. We thank you for supporting free and independent media.